Hi, I'm Jacqueline Riley, Program Coordinator with Child Care Aware of West Central Arkansas in the Pine Bluff Satellite Office. Today we'll be doing a training on moving children to good health, a physical activity for young children. This workshop, it will provide you with an overview of physical activity for young children. We don't have to be exercise experts or any type of exercise specialist in order to provide and support appropriate physical activity for children in our care. So the activities that we will be doing today during this workshop are great examples of ways that we can get our children moving toward a healthier weight. Our objectives for today is to describe why plenty of active play is so important to young children. Explain in detail the components of child care environment that promotes the development of active children. Describe the role of child care staff in helping children develop active lifestyles, and to list some things that they can do in their classroom to help children develop physically active behaviors. So we have an activity. One of the activities is the beach ball. And with the beach ball, we can throw this beach ball from one to the next person. We can throw it across the room, or however you want to do it. You can roll it with the children. All these activities are done with the children in your center. Or we can do a Simon Says stretching activity. And with the Simon Says stretching activity, we can, Simon Says stretch high, way up high. Simon Says stretch to the right. Simon Says stretch to the left. Simon Says stretch forward. And this is a no elimination stretching that we can do with the children. So any of the activities that you do with your children, make them fun and interesting for the children. How can we help child care providers help? What are some reasonable limits on behavior? Some possible examples would be, instead of putting a child in time out, let's discuss with the child what he or she did wrong. Children do not learn from time out. Let outdoor time be children's free time, and make sure that they are safe, but allow them to expand their energy. Child care professionals create early expressions of what is appropriate in eating and activity. Creating an active play environment in your classroom. Although parents may not understand the importance of healthy eating and appropriate physical activity, encourage them through a variety of means, like newsletters, posters, center policies, posted schedules, and special events to promote physical activity at home. Instead of sitting, create lesson plans that use movement when teaching lessons. Children can learn while they are moving their bodies. Be aware of appropriate kinds of movement abilities preschoolers are capable of, and be sure to have them use those skills throughout the day. The body and the brain. Our brain is separated into motor and thinking regions. As adults, the two parts of our brain work together. But as children, the brain is still developing, especially the language area. One very important movement children need to do is cross the midline of their body, up in here. These movements help with reading and cognitive ability. You can do this by clapping high to the right side of your body, marching or tapping your hand on the opposite knee. Preschool children are building a messaging system between their body and their brain. For us adults, throwing and skipping are easy because our brains have built a memory of the movement with our muscles. Children are building the body and brain relationship, which entails training the brain through repetitive movements. Therefore, as children are moving their bodies, they are also learning. Using activities across the curriculum. Here are some examples of ways to get your class moving while they are learning. Would anyone like to add ways to get children moving while they are teaching a lesson? Interesting quote. Humans learn 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, and 50% of what they hear and see. 70% of what is discussed, 80% of what is experienced, and 95% of what you actively teach. The website that is listed, Moving and Learning, offers a lot of resources that can help you plan your lessons and incorporate activity. Some of the examples of activities include pass the movement, which is a gross motor activity. The children sit in a circle, and one child begins by doing an action that is passed to the child to his right or left. The first child might, for instance, bend at the waist and straighten. Each child in succession must then do the same. Or you can do pass the beat. The first child claps out a rhythm. The object is for each child in the circle to repeat the rhythm exactly, keeping an even tempo all around the room. Even the interval between each child should be in keeping with the rhythm being passed. So you have the group balance, which is a gross motor activity. The children form a standing circle and place their hands on the shoulders of the child beside them. They must then maintain a steady balance through challenges and stand on only one foot, lean in various directions, rise on tiptoes, and etc. Gross motor development for 2-year-old children. The American Academy of Pediatrics has developed some of the things that 2-year-old children should be able to do physically. Some of these things include walks alone, stands and walks on tiptoes, able to pull toys behind while walking, carries large toys and several toys while walking, walks up and down stairs holding on for support, climbs into and down from furniture unassisted, able to kick a ball, begins to run. So these are some things that 2-year-old children are able to do in gross motor development. For a 3-year-old, walks without watching their feet, walks backwards, runs at an uneven pace, turns and stops well, climbs stairs with alternating feet using hand rail for balance, jumps off a low step or objects, does not judge well in jumping over objects, show improved coordination, begins to move legs or arms to pump a swing or ride a tricycle. Another organization, the NAEYC, has developed some appropriate gross motor practices for early childhood from ages 3 to 5. When planning activities to do with children of this age level, keep these skills in mind and help 3-year-old children develop these gross motor skills. Forget to watch directions of their actions and bumps into objects. A 3-year-old stands on one foot unsteadily, balances with difficulty on a low balance beam, 4-inch width, and watches feet. Plays actively, trying to keep up with older children, and then needs rest, fatigues suddenly, and becomes cranky if overtired. So for a 4-year-old gross motor development, these are appropriate gross motor milestones for 4-year-olds. Walk heels to toes, skips unevenly, runs well, stands on one foot for 5 seconds or more, masters the low balance beam, but has difficulty with a 2-inch wide beam without watching his feet. Walks down steps, alternating feet, judges well in placing feet on climbing structures. Develops sufficient timing to jump rope or play games requiring quick reactions. So remember that children are not always aware of their growth, and this may cause some preschoolers to adapt and learn some developmental milestones at a different pace. For a 4-year-old gross motor skill, they develop to coordinate movement, to climb and jump. Shows greater perceptual judgment and awareness of own limitations and or the consequences of unsafe behaviors. Still needs supervision crossing the street or protecting self in certain activities. Exhibits increased endurance with long periods of high energy, requires more liquids and calories, sometimes becomes overexcited and less self-regulated in group activity. Lastly are the 5-year-olds. At this age, children begin to develop more complex movements and start putting movements together. So at 5-year-old, walks backwards quickly, skips and runs with agility and speed, can incorporate motor skills into a game, walks a 2-inch balance beam well, jumps over objects, hops well, maintains an even gait in stepping, jumps down several steps, jumps the rope. Physical activity guidelines for 3 to 5-year-olds. According to the National Association of Sports and Physical Education, the physical activity guidelines for preschoolers are as follows. At least 60 minutes of unstructured active play, but up to several hours of free play, which may be outdoors or an indoor area play. Examples of this type of activity include riding tricycles, a game of tag, climbing. An indoor activity in the play area is an area where children are free to run around and do all types of movement. Unstructured activity helps children develop imagination, body awareness, and creativity. This type of activity should be child initiated, where the child directs his or her own activity and play. This type of activity typically is sporadic and with a lot of stop and start activity. Daily structured physical activities are activities that are led by teachers or parents. Structured activity involves setting aside a specific time to be active and planning activities to do during this time. Try and schedule a few 10 to 15 minute structured physical activity breaks each day to help teach children how to move. In addition, children can receive the same benefits as adults from being physically active, such as helping prevent chronic disease, heart disease, and diabetes. Being active may help kids perform better in school, and teaching children to learn physical activity early in life help them make better health and lifestyle choices. Active play and inactive time. Experts tell us that all children, even the youngest one, need at least 60 minutes of active play time during the day. Many would say more, such as several hours per day. Some children may leave the child care center and not get any more time to be active with busy family schedules. Young children learn mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially through play. Gross motor skills, which are the large muscles, are developed when children are engaged in active play. Sitting for long periods of time is not good for any child. Limit sitting to no more than 30 minutes at a time unless children are eating or napping. Do not withhold physical activity as punishment. Use other methods that do not cause children to associate bad behavior with restricted physical activity. Active play and inactive time for outdoors. According to Swedish child care experts, there is not bad weather, just bad clothes. Make sure children are dressed appropriately to go outside. On a rainy day or snowy day, have parents bring rain boots, raincoats, mittens, and umbrellas, and go out and play in the rain or snow. When possible, allow children to be outside. They are more active when they are outside, and all kids love the outdoors. If the playground is too wet, but it is a nice day, put up some cones in the parking lot and have children run around on the pavement, draw with chalk, or go for a nature walk. Examples of types of walks. You have theme walks. Focus on a particular theme such as colors, shadows, seeds, birds, footprints, discoveries under rocks. Go on a sensory walk. Focus on the senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? And what do you feel? Go for a weather walk. Focus on the type of weather occurring at the time. Notice changes in the weather. Yesterday was sunny and warm, and today is cloudy and wet. Walk against the wind and note changes. Watch a storm coming. Catch raindrops on your tongue. Do a search for life walk. Focus on finding life in the air, on the ground, in a stream, and so on. Look for evidence of life as well. Nests, animal tracks, droppings, tree holes, and burrows. Go on new information walks. Focus on gaining and processing information. Name findings. And then the clean the environment walks. Focus on cleaning up nature. Take along trash bags as well as plastic gloves for each child. But avoid focusing on pollution until children possess a clear understanding of what is natural. Outdoor play benefits. Children learn through their senses, and there are plenty of things to see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. Inventing games promotes autonomy, decision making, and organizational skills. Inventing rules for games promotes an understanding of why rules are necessary. And although children are playing to have fun, they are also learning communication skills and vocabulary as they invent, modify, and enforce rules. Number relationships as they keep score and count. And social skills as they learn to play with one another. Active play and inactive time, structured activity. Structured activities should be designed so that all young children are active participants. Teachers should provide sufficient equipment so that children can maximally participate. Keep in mind, this equipment can be homemade and doesn't have to be expensive. Teachers should not utilize or design games where children have to wait their turn to complete the activity. An example, children do not have to wait their turn for a ball. Each child has his or her own piece of equipment to complete the activity. So anytime you have an activity with the children, make sure that you have a variety for the children and enough for all the children to play. So structured activity should be designed so that all children are active participants, provide sufficient equipment so each child can maximally participate, avoid games where children will wait their turn to complete the activity, enhance the participation by avoiding and modifying games where children are eliminated from play, and avoid games and activities where children are required to passively sit, listen, and wait. Active play and inactive time, TV use, and TV viewing. Did you know that every 2 hours per day or more of TV a child watches, the risk of obesity jumps 23%, and the risk of diabetes increases 14%. Not only is TV viewing low energy time, seeing people eating and drinking encourages us to eat and drink even when we are not hungry. Some parents use TV as a convenient way to maintain child control, cooking dinner, trying to clean up, visiting with neighbors. But children behave better when they are allowed to release their energy. Since TV is very popular and designed to be attractive to children, even young ones learn to request TV time during early in life. Childcare settings are places where educational and developmental activities should occur. TV contributes to very little to a child's well-being. It's best to keep TVs turned off at childcare facilities or used occasionally for educational programs only. Keep use to a minimum. Let children develop their creativity, not passivity. Active play and inactive time with computers. According to NAEYC, a computer is a tool, just like a book, a pencil, or a television. Computers can be used in developmentally appropriate ways beneficial to children, and like any other tool that they can also be misused. Set limits on how long each child can spend on a computer and how often it is available throughout the day. For example, each child is only allowed 20 minutes a day if they would like to play on a computer. You can also only offer computer time during center time, certain times of the day. Make sure only appropriate educational software is available and children are being supervised and shown how to use the computer. Not all children may have access to a computer at home. So use this opportunity to teach these children what to do and how to use all the components of the computer. They're finding fun in physical activity. We're going to brainstorm where you can come up with 3 ideas of physical activity that you can use in your child care facility. Here are some other ways for increasing active play in your classroom. Increase play. Teach new gross motor skills such as skipping, balancing, jumping, or walking backwards. And you can do this by taping hula hoops to the wall and making throw targets. Kicking targets can be cones, empty boxes. Have a newspaper snowball fight in the classroom or a big open space where children can run around. Remember the developmental capabilities of preschoolers. Don't try to teach them the rules of soccer or basketball. They won't understand. Join in the play with the children. This can enhance their play and help them become more active while they are outside. Turn music on and have everyone create a dance move for the class to try. Decrease sitting. Incorporate activities during circle time. Explain calendar activities. Create lesson plans that involve children moving around instead of just sitting and listening. Instead of sitting children in front of the TV on a rainy day, get them up and be active by creating an indoor play space in the classroom where children can run, jump, and hop around. Limit the table toys activity and increase activity in the centers. For example, have a CD player with appropriate CDs and have children pick a CD and dance. Your play environment. Development of gross motor skills such as hopping, skipping, jumping, throwing, and catching occur through children's interaction in a stimulating environment. The environment can be made stimulating through the use of fixed equipment or structures that stimulate a child to go over, under, around, and through. Things that children can climb on, jump from, leap up for, run around, peek under, and other activities that we can't even imagine. Safety rules for playground equipment can be confusing. If you have any questions about specific safety precautions and regulations, please consult your child care health consultant. Playground equipment is expensive, but there are grants out there that can help. Many of these are listed on the internet. See the grant opportunities handout for places to search for research. The environment can also be made stimulating by the addition of portable equipment such as balls, hoops, and wheel toys. If active play can occur outside, create an indoor space by moving tables and chairs around so that children are able to move around freely and be active. Spice up your play area with nature. Creating a garden on the playground helps children to learn and care about the environment. In addition, gardens attract butterflies and other interesting insects that intrigue children. Trees that offer color, pine cones, or fruit can offer things to look forward to during seasons and can also be used as a learning experience. Children who experience school grounds with diverse natural settings are more physically active, more aware of nutrition, more civil to one another, and more creative. Studies of children in the schoolyards with both green areas and manufactured play areas found that children engaged in more creative forms of play in the green areas, and they also played more cooperatively. Supporting physical activity, child care providers spend many hours with children in their care. Teachers are watched carefully, and children often model their behavior. You can be a role model. No one is perfect, but we can set good examples for children. Play with the children on the playground by joining in their activity and stimulate their activity by giving them ideas that create them to move more. For example, bringing in concepts such as near and far, fast and slow, or help set up an obstacle course for tricycles and children to go through. Teachers who play with their children are modeling active behavior and get some physical activity for themselves. Support for physical activity is just as important as being active with the children. You can show support for children's physical activity by hanging posters or reading books that encourage children to be active, as well as asking questions, giving encouragement, or by smiling and making positive comments to the children while they are playing. So although you may not be able to play with the children and be active with those children, make comments, encourage them to do better, to go work toward a goal. Children with special needs need physical activity too. Kids with disabilities and special needs such as asthma tend to be less active, and they get less exercises and do less physical activity, but they have similar physical activity needs as other children to stay healthy. As teachers, your goal is to design activities that all children can be successful in. This might take a little extra effort on our part, but seeing children succeed, gain confidence, and smile at their achievements, it will be worth it in the long run. For many children with special needs, it is important that they see someone else doing the activity. This is another reason why it is important that we model healthy behaviors and get involved in the classroom activities. So here's an activity which is called cooperative hoops. Had I been in the classroom face to face, we would distribute hoops throughout the play area with plenty of room between. Each person would stand on their own hoop. At the start of the music, children began to move around, avoiding the hoops. Assign a specific locomotor movement at the start: walking, hopping, skipping, and so on. When the music stops, students must get back into the hoop as quickly as possible. Only one person per hoop. Now remove a few hoops and instruct the children to share hoops. For physical activity education, staff, children, and parents, it takes everyone together to support positive behaviors in our children. Having well-trained staff is the first way that we center supports. Having well-trained staff is the first way that a center supports healthy weights for children. Staff training opportunities can help center staff improve their skills and abilities by providing the best physical activity opportunities for children in childcare. Although the parents are the ultimate resource for supporting and modeling good health behaviors, assistance and guidance from childcare staff will be necessary. Put up posters, show pictures, send home messages, and share policies so that parents can understand and support these important activities when at home with their child. Physical activity policies. A written policy on physical activity tells parents and staff that this is an important issue and helps build their support. It is helpful that both the staff and the parents have a written policy. A written policy regarding physical activity at your facility. It helps keep staff focused on the plan, maintain a sense of direction for the facility, and confirm to parents that you are supportive in physical activity practices for the children in your care. For example, your facility can create a schedule for outdoor play for each classroom with specific times to use the playground or to use an indoor play area in case of weather that does not permit outdoor play. Tips for a safe and successful program: include the whole class in all activities. Make sure the activities are age appropriate. Adapting to games is necessary, and also adapt to the environment that you are playing in. Children's attention spans are short, so don't forget variety. Have fun and drink lots of water. Now, I would like for you to think of at least 3 goals or changes that you would like to make in your classroom relating to the information that we've talked about. They can be about physical activity, modeling behaviors, or anything else about which we've talked about today. Please make your goals practical, realistic, and things that you are really willing to change. Thank you for attending our Moving Children to Good Health physical activity for young children. I am Jacqueline Riley with Child Care Aware of West Central Arkansas at the Pine Bluff Satellite Center. Thank you.